Now we are talking about the convolution codes. I already told you in the beginning of the class, like when we are starting the channel coding techniques, a convolution encoder has got some memory, okay, and we have got if I got n-bit encoder output at a particular time, it depends not only on the k-bit information, but also depends upon the m previous input information bits. Okay, this has got the memory order of n, m previous input bits. In this particular case, if I consider, for example, you have a sequence of the message bits, say U0, U1, U2, and so on, UL, UL plus 1, and so on. What is the meaning of this L now? Tell me. Suppose, how do you get this bit information? Let us say this is one bit. Okay, this is another bit. It's a bit sequence. What is the time difference between these two? 1 bit duration. That's what I'm saying. 1 bit duration. You can have it as a TB or something like that. I can also represent this as U of 0, U of, what do you call, 1 into TB is TB, U of 2 TB, sorry, this is U, not me, U of 3 TB and so on, correct? Also write the above sequence as, because TB is the common, bit duration, sorry, bit duration is common, I can write this as U of 1, U of 2. What does it indicates now? It's an index, right? At the time instant. It indicates the time instance. Let us say U of L. What does it indicate? This is the Lth time, correct? Lth time instant. So in the same manner, this is the Lth time instant. At that instant of time, say Lth time instant, when I apply a bit, since it has got a memory, how much is the memory here? What is this N? N is the number of outputs. How many number of outputs are here for a given input? For a given input bit, you have got 2 outputs. So here the rate is how much? Code rate. What is the code rate here? It's a 1 by 2 because we'll get, when you apply bit 1, I am getting 2 bits output. So it's a code rate of half code rate. Number of input bits by number of output bits gives you the code rate. Therefore, this is a half rate convolution code. This indicates the half rate convolution code. And how many shift registers are there here?
2, sir.
So 2. That means here the memory will be 2 and the constraint length, I get a constraint length which is number of shift registers plus 1. Suppose small m plus 1. This is my constrained length, capital N. Constrained length. It indicates how many passages. Suppose now I'm here. Okay, by the time I want to come out here, how many clock pulses I have to apply? So we'll get a constraint length is 3 here. Because that's why it's one is added always. So number of shift registers are some plus 1 or the memory plus 1 that gives you the constrained length. Now here, what is the first output? Sometimes I write this also like this. V 0 0. What is the meaning of this? In some textbooks they are written as this is the first output, this is the second output, or zeroth output and first output. These are indicating, suffixes indicate the output number, and this indicates the time index, Lth time or jth time. So this is my first output, this is my second output, this is a coded output, this is a coded output, and here I can write this. Why it is called as convolutional code? Can somebody tell me why it is called as convolutional code? I'll prove that it is a convolution. Now here what is this? Is it 1? Lth time, and this is, if you see the figure, if you see this figure, what is that you are getting? Output of this. That means this is my UL minus 2, UL minus 2 and UL, right? I think these are the two outputs. These are the two outputs for a single half rate code. Now I can write this as V1 is first output of 0, or I can in general write in general let's say K, you can say like J is equals to U of J, jth time. I am writing jth time, and U of J minus 2, correct? Similarly, the second output at jth time instant, it is U of J plus U of J minus 1 plus U of J minus 2. Okay, now the first one I will write this as V1 of J can be written as U of J 1 into U of J plus 0 into U of J minus 1 plus 1 into U of J minus 2. Can I write this way? The first output. This can be written as, see here the J minus 1 term is missing because here I am taking the output of the second shift register and then the first input to this. So UL minus 2. Okay. So I'll get here. Since the second one is missing, I am writing with 0 multiplied by U of J minus 1. Similarly, I can write this as second one V2, second output at the jth time, 1 into U of J plus 1 into U of J minus 1 plus 1 into U of J minus 2. Okay. Now let us see, I write this in the summation form. V1 of J is equals to summation, say K is equals to 0 to say 2 here in this case, and I write something like h0 of k into u of j minus k. Can't I write this as? Can't I write this one? First equation. All of you, please respond. Can I write this way? The first equation.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Is
sir.
it not like is it not like a convolution where these are the filter coefficients and these are the Bessel bits? I have a system. I am applying input bits and I am taking the coded output. This is a convolutional encoder. Okay. I have the output here. This is one of them. I'll get another output. One of them. So for input, I'll get two outputs. I am separately, when I write two separate outputs, I can write this way. Similarly, I can write V2. Okay. Where, what is H1K? Can somebody tell me H1 of 0? What is H1 of 0? Is 1.
1, sir.
And H1 of 1?
0.
And H1 of 2?
1.
1. Whereas in the second case, this H2 of 0 is equals to H2 of 1 is equals to H2 of 2 equals to 1, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means it is like a convolutional operation. That's why these codes are there. We call as convolutional codes. In this example, starting from, let us consider these are the sequences, the input bit sequences, and for each bit. Now this kind of this is the first output. Here actually, what I thought this is the first output. This is second output. 0 and 1 I just taken. You can write it as 1 and 2. Yeah, that way I just follow. See that this is the input sequence, and for first bit, your output will be 1 here based on these things. For different outputs, and for every input sequence, u of 1, u of 2, u of 3, like that, you will get this kind of sequences. This is 1, this is 1. Again, you can easily get it out. That means I am writing two outputs at one place. Two outputs at one place. This is actually, this is output. Output at what time? At second, what do you call, this is 0 time. This is first TB, second TB, and so on. Now the second one is another important thing. In a simplest way, we want to write in the transform domain. In the transform domain. What is the transform domain? It's something like easy to represent in the form of generator matrix. So here I am taking an example. Encode is half coder, n is equals to 3, that is constant length of n is equals to 3 here, because I already told you constant length is nothing but number of resistors plus 1. That gives you the constant length. By the time you get this output here, you will get the transformations 1, 2 and 3, because that operation has to be done here. So you will get 3. That's why it's called constant length 3. Now let us see. Here, when I am shifting, there is a, see, I call it as, for example, if I say it is U of L, and this becomes obviously U of L minus 1. And this one is U of L minus 2 in this particular case. So I represent that delay is called as D, capital D. I represent this D as a capital D. Capital D is the delay. Okay. this is my first output. So here, this is the general representation of generator matrix values G1. These are G0, G1, G2, and so on. And here, D is the delay. D is the delay. G0 of 1, G1 of 1. This is the first output, corresponding to first output, and these are the different values, like your kind of H kind of thing. Okay, you can replace it as a G here. This is M, up to M value I have taken, and similarly for second output I can write this as G0, D, D0, D, D square, dm to the power of m. This is a delay. It's representing the delay. These are two delays, three delays. Likewise, you got this is the delay. Okay, here previously I have just represented D as the message bits earlier, and I am taking length L length of the message sequence. Now I can write it as D of capital D, where D is the delay. So D0 into D to the power of 0, D1 into D power 1, D2 into D square. Likewise, DL minus 1, DL minus 1 into D to the power of L minus 1. I can represent this way. It represents the delay, that's all. The first output is obtained from this V, the first output, V of D. In general, I am representing D is equals to D of D into G1 of D. It is something like your H1 of D kind of thing. Just now I explained it. Okay? And this one is, this is the generator polynomial. We call it as a generator polynomial for the first one, and this is generator polynomial for second one. And let us take an example here. If this is my message bits 1 0 0 1 1, the constant length of capital length is equals 3, half rate, and generator sequence, generator polynomial is equals to, first for the first one it is G0 1, G0 1, G1 1, G2 1. Okay, this is something like it is given to you. 1 plus D square, it is given to you. Similarly, for the second one, it is given as 1 plus D square. See that in this example, what I am taking, 1 is the input, second one is just after delay you are taking another input, and the third one you are taking another input. So the three inputs together, so I get 1 plus D square. 1 plus D square. And for the second output, I am taking this one and the second one. So this is 1, this is 1, this D is not there, D square is there. So 1 plus D square, secondary form. Okay, so based on this now, D of capital D, this can be written as 1 plus D cube plus D to the power of 4. Okay, how do you write this? This is first one is 1, 0, 0. There is D is 0, D2 is also 0, D cube. So you will get D cube here. Plus this one is D4. So I am representing the input is also in this fashion. Okay. Now this one I am writing the generator polynomial. So I have to multiply 1 plus D cube plus D to the power of 4 into, this is my message sequence, and this is generator polynomial is 1 plus D square. This is my output. Okay, so 1 plus 1 is 1. So for all the things you'll get 1 plus d square for the first one. For the next one plus d cube plus d to the power of 4 plus d to the power of 5. Second is over. The third one plus d to the power of 4. I got this d to the power of 4. I need not write it again. D to the power of 5. I did not write it again because it is already there. And d to the power of 6. You get d to the power of 6. So finally, what I am getting, this is my output, generator output. It's a 1 plus d square plus d3 plus d square d to the power of 6. This is the first output. Similarly, you can write the second one. What is the second one? Square for the second one. Now let us see. So if I rewrite in a sequential manner, I'll get these. Okay. So likewise, you can find out the outputs here. So V1 D is equals to what you got? 1 plus D plus D square plus D cube plus d to the power of 6. I think we got that, correct? Okay. Now, what is the corresponding outputs? Let us find out. The corresponding outputs will be, so your V1 1 1 1 1 0 0 1 for the given input. Similarly, the second output will be 1 0 1 1 1 1. So these are the corresponding outputs. By simple, every time you need not verify that block and then find out what is the delay, what is the shifting operation. All these things you need not do. So it's the simplest way in the transform domain. You can easily find out what is the corresponding outputs. And finally, the coded output vector can be represented in this fashion: 1 1 comma 1 0 comma 1 1 comma 0 1 comma 0 1 comma 1 1 and so on. This is the way you are. This is the final output.